All right, it is a little bit after, I think a little bit after 2 o'clock in the afternoon Colorado time. And wow, feeling a lot of stuff. Anyone out there feeling kind of zingy? Because I'm feeling it. So I'm doing a lot of deep breathing over here. I wanted to follow up on the topic, which is extremely apropos. So, extending kindness to others regardless of a difference in opinion. Holy crap. I knew this was going to be apropos, but I don't think any of us knew how hard this was going to be. I want to offer support for both sides, and I'm going to say both sides as little as I possibly can, because I think if we feel that we're on sides, we'll call it right now so that we can wrap our language around it. But the goal would be to break down that divisiveness, that wall that puts us on sides. It's a lofty goal, but it's not impossible, and we got to start somewhere. I was talking yesterday about calling these emotions what they are and calling them grief, and allowing us to acknowledge that it's grief, knowing that when we can do that, that we're a little bit more able to handle the roller coaster of emotion that comes with some grief. And I want to also say I'm starting to see that rub people the wrong way. So if we tackle grief itself first, let's throw out there that, hey, we don't do grief well. Do you know anybody who models how to move through grief super well? It's not taught well. It's expected that when there's some extreme grief going on, that there are going to be people out there that don't handle it well. It wasn't modeled to them. It wasn't modeled to us. So one thing to start with is just to, in the effort of drawing on whatever kindness we can, how can we acknowledge that a human being is suffering? We don't have to agree with why. Tapping on my desk here. We don't have to agree with why they are suffering. It is a human being, and there's some feeling going on, and we can't fix that by telling people to get over it, guys. Ouch. So this whole calm down thing, there's an aspect of what I think is behind telling people to just calm down, it's going to be okay, that I do agree with. If we step back and we look at the grander picture, are we going to be okay? Yes, all of us, we're all going to be okay. Yes, it's going to be okay. In the meantime, in the immediate of what's going on right now, is it scary? Can there be some stuff that's legitimate that we should be concerned about in the immediate? Yes. Yes. Can anyone who's watching pull up that meme? You know the one, the never in the history of calming down has anyone ever calmed down by being told to calm down? If you can find that, pop that into the comments. I am going to get to a place where at the end of this, I think I can offer something that if you choose to play and participate, that can be a tool to manage that intensity. Holy crap, we're affecting not just friends anymore, but like family members. Oh my gosh, guys, this is a lot of feels that's going on. With all of these feels, how do we regulate being true to what we feel and honoring that and being kind to someone that feels different? We need to be careful of our written word. I read a misunderstanding that was resolved peacefully online this morning. I was so impressed. Remember, it is so easy to misinterpret the written word. On top of that, not everyone is flawless at communicating by written word. So it makes it tricky to understand, and we are all super easy to be triggered right now. All of us. It doesn't matter. We're a little sensitive. Hey, all of us a little sensitive. So in whatever way that's showing up, it shows up differently, but the trigger is in place. I think we can all acknowledge that. So if we know that in advance, it's helpful to maybe take a second to think and put a filter in before we respond to a comment. And make sure, is this, I get to express my opinion. Absolutely, you get to express your opinion, but am I presenting it in as kind of a way as possible? Again, this is all we're focusing on, is just that kindness piece, which is super, super tough. I get it, but super, super important. It's not the only action we can take this week. It is just an action to connect us when there's so much division. Can we word things in a way that says, hey, I understand your pain or your frustration, or can we just say, I get that you're suffering, and I hope that it can be lessened in time. I hope that it can be lessened with whatever positivity can come to you. Can we just recognize each other? I want to share a pretty neat quote that my father, thanks Dad, for posted this morning from Seth Meyers, who said, and I'm going to paraphrase just slightly, just because I'm gonna. You guys can look it up on your own. Seth said, I felt a lot of emotions last night and into today, some sadness, some anger, some fear. But I'm also aware that those are the same emotions that others felt. Emotions that led them to make their choice. And it would be wrong for me to think that my emotions are somehow more authentic than their emotions. Can we relate to each other on an emotional level, just from the emotion itself? The exercise that I wanted to introduce is going to be a variation of Tonglen. I think, was it just last week we did the meditation thing? So Tonglen, pretty interesting meditation practice where you're projecting compassion often towards that thing that can cause you the most suffering. I got an amazing email in my inbox yesterday from what I would call it would be a social media for meditation. It's called Amplifield.com. If you guys are into that, check it out. The idea was to project that compassion and that love towards the thing that we fear, towards the thing that's causing us anger. In this email that I got, triggered the crap out of me. Oh my gosh, that's so hard to do. But immediately got, that's what we need. We need to go right to that trigger. And if we can send kindness towards that thing that we fear most, it is, again, scientifically proven that projecting that kindness helps us. It directly helps us. Obviously, it's going to help the next guy that we're projecting that to, but it absolutely helps us. So we're going to do a little exercise that's kind of like Tonglen, but here, let me tie this back to this Seth Meyers quote and relating to each other from emotion. Tonglen and recognizing what someone else is feeling when we disagree with them at a base level. This is really hard. We have to be able to acknowledge our own darkness, our own anger, our own fear, in order to allow someone to experience theirs. That's not an easy process. That's not going to get done in this time that we have together, but it is important to recognize that we've got our own work to do. All of us, we have our own work to do. If we're lashing out, both sides, guys, both sides, if we're lashing out, we've got our own work to do on that darkness, that anger, that fear. When we strip away the reasons for the fear, the reasons for the anger, those things that we don't agree on, and we just look at the emotion for the emotion. Do you know what fear feels like to you? I mean, take a moment to feel it. Like, do you feel it seizing up your body? Do you feel it tightening up your throat? What does fear feel like in your body? What do you think it feels like for them? They're human beings, right? We're all human beings. I think fear feels differently. I mean, yeah, of course, differently to a certain extent how we feel it in our bodies, but fear is fear is fear. Can we start to recognize each other and build that compassion based on the fact that, yes, you feel fear too. I feel fear. You feel fear. That anger. I don't understand why you're angry, but I can see you for that anger. Seek first to understand. Yes. Isn't that Stephen Covey, then to be understood? Trying to relate to someone from that like emotional level. Anger makes us all feel triggery to the point of lashing out. So this is one way we can find common ground to act with kindness, to recognize that we are human beings. Your flesh is like my flesh, and we feel the same emotions. Can we do that? Can that be a start to take a breath and recognize that I can give compassion to a human being in fear, a human being suffering, a human being in grief? At Home Advisor, we were taught empathy, to have conversations that were tough. Yes. The best way to appreciate where they are coming from is to listen, rephrase what they have said, and repeat it so that they feel heard and it de-escalates. They also know, or we all know exactly what was said. We have to know where we are coming from to do it. All right, Tina, since you brought that up, before we do this piece of Tonglen, I'm going to bring up acknowledgement and validation. Acknowledgement would be that rephrasing of what you hear, letting the other person know that you have heard them, you're hearing what they're saying, paraphrasing it as close to their words as you can, but letting them know that the message, the language itself was heard, acknowledging it, recognizing what was said, repeating it back. Hey, that can be done without emotion. It can be done without emotion, and it can be done without agreement. This is the main thing. It is just repeating back what somebody said to acknowledge it was heard. It doesn't mean agreement. Okay? And then validation would be the next step. Everything that you're feeling is okay for you to feel, given everything that you have come from, every experience that you have had, everything that has led up to why you feel the way that you feel. You are valid for feeling the way that you feel. Guess what? I still don't have to agree. Did I agree? I didn't agree. I validated what someone else was feeling and said, hey, you're a human being. Whatever you're feeling is appropriate for you and your life experience and what you know to this point. Everyone is doing the best that they can with what they know. This is all that they know. We're all doing the best we can with what we know. Can we acknowledge, I hear you, here's what I heard. Did I get that right? Can we then validate and say, you have a right to feel what you feel. I don't have to agree, but it's okay because you have a right to feel what you feel as a human being. Reflective listening, yes. And you know what happens? Gosh, you know what happens when you acknowledge and validate someone? I think Tina said it. It diffuses the passion and the vehemence in what they're trying to communicate. Most of that vitriol, that insanity that we're feeling is that we can't feel heard, you guys. We're not feeling heard. If we can just practice listening, This is a wonderful way to practice kindness. If we can just hear each other, we don't have to agree, but we gotta be freaking nice, okay? Whew, sorry. It's zingy, right? It just feels zingy. Let's do that Tonglen thing, okay? So just an abbreviated way of doing this. I'm going to make this up on the fly. Hang on, Jennifer's saying, it's hard for me to reflect when I perceive someone comes at me in an angry tone. It's intimidating. Yes, I agree with what you're saying. Yes, but it is intimidating. That's where I mean we have to do our own work on the trigger. When we get triggered, it is about us. It's not about them. It's about us. What can we do to manage that trigger, to not be intimidated, to know that we can softly speak, kindly, compassionately speak our voice, our opinion? We have value, all of us. Can we deliver it kindly? It's a work in progress, Jen. I get it. It's a work in progress. All right, I'm going to make this up on the fly. So for those of you who want to play along, if you're able to eliminate distraction, it will help to close your eyes and follow along. I might lean in a little bit because I know I get quiet. We're just going to make this up on the fly. Honoring our own triggers helps us grow and be able to handle them more and more over time. Yeah, that's the process. It doesn't happen overnight. That's what we're doing today. We're just showing up and loving on each other. Okay? All right. For those of you that can eliminate distractions and want to play with this for a moment or two, I'll invite you to close your eyes. Take whatever breaths that you need to settle into this space. Oh my gosh, can we take a break for a sec? Can we just breathe out and take a break from that zingy feeling we've been feeling? Can we just allow ourselves a moment to melt into whatever we're resting on? Can we be supported by the chair or the couch or whatever it is we're sitting on, and just melt into that and allow yourself for a moment, give yourself permission to just feel safe right here. We're going to start nice and easy. Let's go ahead and picture somebody that you love. Picture somebody that's easy. Picture somebody that you know brings a smile to your face. Picture them right now and let that happy feeling tingle and spread out over your body. Oh, it's good for us, you guys, to feel that. Oh, it's good. We need this right now. While you're picturing that person that's easy that you love, can you send them compassion, love, kindness, comfort? Send them a bit of relaxation. Tune into that area around your heart that is so powerful and expands out when we focus on it. That electromagnetic field outside of our body, it reaches, and allow that to project towards that person. Like this big energetic hug. Gotcha. Thanks, you guys. I got that. Great. Okay. Now I like to say, put a bookmark in your heart for this person, and know that even though we're going to move to the next step, you can come back at any time and give them this love and compassion. Can you feel how good that made you feel? There's that bookmark. You can come back anytime. Okay. Now, picture a community, perhaps a community that you don't know. You could, one that is maybe just strangers, maybe pick the guy that you saw at the checkout line at the grocery store, someone you don't really know, someone you were chatting with when you were filling up with gas. This is a rather neutral person. You can even give them a blank face and just project that energy, that heart energy, that love, that compassion towards this neutral person. Send that out. Radiate that compassion, that kindness, that peace, that love to this neutral person, to this stranger that you don't know. Send that out. Give them that energetic hug. Place a bookmark in your heart for anyone in the future that may need that love and compassion that you don't know. Remember that a neutral person can get this beautiful love energy from you at any time. And now, if you're willing, picture someone that's rubbed you the wrong way. If you want to go whole hog and picture somebody really tough, amen, go for it. If you want to picture someone just mildly rubbing you the wrong way, great. Start easy. Start easy. Can you give them right now this loving energy? Can you feel that radiating out towards their heart? Send it right there. I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you. Send them that peace. Send them that kindness. They are a human being. They have feelings just like we do. They cry the same tears. They feel the same pain. Can we send that love to them? Send it out. Send that love and compassion out. Know that whatever you are projecting out comes back to you. And you get to soak that up. All of that love and that compassion comes right back to your very own heart. Place a bookmark in your heart for this person. Know that you can come back anytime you need to and send them this love and compassion and energy. And start to notice and be aware of where you are in the room. It's really easy to get caught up in this one. It feels really good. Start to come back and wiggle around if you need to. Open your eyes. That one got me a little bit, you guys. Such a huge believer in this. We can do this. All of us. This isn't one side or the other. This is all of us projecting that compassion. Man, I needed that. I feel totally different. Anybody else feel different? All that zinginess that I came in with. I feel more expanded. So, there's a lot of actions that we can take this week. Doing what we can to treat ourselves kindly, to treat others kindly is one of them. It's a big one. It is healing. Remember that it is healing to practice kindness. And then I touched on something at the end of yesterday that I'm going to wrap up with today. When you are ready, be in the grief as long as you need to be in the grief. Be in the feels, be in the anger. Whatever you're feeling is okay. Feel it as long as you need to feel it. And when you're ready to move out of that, remember that we get what we're focusing on. We create more of where we're putting our attention. So what actions can we take to move positively forward when we're ready? I'm going to leave you all with this neat quote that I found this morning. And thanks to Mark for calling it to my attention. This is from Molly Ivins. So this is for those of us who are ready to take positive action. If you need to be sitting in the feels, know that you've got permission to sit in the feels. But when you're ready to start creating more of what you do want, to start focusing on what you do want, to attract that, to generate more of it. This is for you, okay? Molly Ivins, do something immediately, now, today. Figure out what you can do to help rescue the country, if you think it needs rescuing. Join something. Send a little money to some group. Call somewhere and offer to volunteer. Find a politician you like at the local level and start helping him or her move up. Think about how you can lend a hand to the amazing myriad efforts that will promptly break out to help the country recover from what it has done. Don't mourn. Organize. That's another paraphrased slightly from Molly Ivins. I like that action. For those of you who are ready, get on it. Go spread some kindness. Go take a positive action. Let somebody lean on you this week. And watch what you're writing, okay? Please. All right. Love you all. I'm going to sign off. I'm pretty sure this one's been a long one, but I'll be back again next week. Thanks. Bye.